not gonna bother me now.
He's gonna do us all in here.
You better believe it.
All right, good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Are you Mr. Reynolds?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so this is what's called your extradition hearing. You have the right to an attorney. Hold on. You have the right to the presumption of innocence till the state proves your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. You have the right to remain silent. You don't have to say anything that will incriminate you. You have the right to be represented by an attorney. All right. So you are charged with being a fugitive from justice. You have no bond set because you are wanted by Wayne County Sheriff's Office in Michigan for arson, warrant number 2020-709-074, which is a felony, and they wish to indict you back on that charge. All right, so you have the option this morning of waiving extradition and voluntarily returning back to Michigan, or you can contest extradition. You won't be able to contest the issue of your innocence or guilt because the case is not pending here in Clayton County, Georgia. All right, but you would be able to contest 4 things. 1, whether the extradition documents are in order on their face, whether you are charged with a crime that actually exists in the demanding state of Michigan, whether you are the person named in the request for extradition, and whether you are in fact a fugitive from justice. We can hold you in our jail for 30 days, and then we can prepare a warrant under our governor's signature for you to remain here. And then we can hold you for another 60 days pending the scheduling of an extradition hearing. So we can hold you for up to 90 days to schedule an extradition hearing, and I would appoint an attorney to represent you. So I need to, if you voluntarily want to return back to Michigan to answer for the charges, then they'll have 10 business days to come here to pick you up, or we'll release you from our jail. All right.
Your Honor,
So
attorney, he was supposed to be here on this call, actually, so I'm not sure why he's not.
who was the attorney?
My mom arranged all that. I'm not sure. They wouldn't let me out to use the phone. I told them that I had court this afternoon, because I found out about 3 o'clock in the morning. They brought me this appearance bond and told me I would have a first appearance at 1 o'clock. I told the COs that I needed to call my attorney. They told me I don't have court. Then they came and took me out and said I do have court. I had one of the other inmates call my mom for me on the telephone. She reached out to my attorney. My attorney said he'd be present at 1 o'clock on this call.
What is your attorney's name?
Ma'am, I couldn't even tell you because they haven't let me use the phone. My mom's been handling all that. So I don't really know his name, but I met with him one time here in Clayton County. They told him that I didn't want to visit and I wasn't trying to come out my room, which was false. He said he was waiting for 20 to 30 minutes. They finally let me out. So
okay, so I do not have an attorney present. Do you want me to continue your case until tomorrow?
No, I know he told me just to waive the extradition, so that's what I'm gonna do.
Okay, so they'll have some waiver forms for you to sign, and that's the waiver of your extradition, meaning that you're agreeing to voluntarily return back to the state of Michigan for the arson charge. All right, and then you can let your attorney know that you already signed the waiver, and then he'll know what to do from there.
You have them let me use the phone. I've been on 24-hour lockdown since I've been here, not able to use the phone at all to call.
Yeah, that's gonna be, you're gonna have, you're gonna have to speak with the sheriffs, the deputies about that, okay?
Charges I had at first said that reckless abandonment of child resulting in death. So
Right, so I'm not here on those charges. I don't have that file. I only have this fugitive from justice warrant. That's the only one I have. Okay, so you may have other charges pending, and maybe, you know, when you speak with your attorney, he can advise you about those charges. Okay.
my kids are alive and well, but it's the mental state it put me in, looking at charges saying that all 4 of my children that I just seen breathing and alive at the airport were dead and then not able to use the phone.
Sir, I do not have that file. I only have this warrant for the arson. You said that you wanted to waive the extradition, so they'll have the form for you to waive and sign that, and then you'll be able to speak with your attorney later. All right? Thank you, sir.
You have also, Judge, I'll let you go off of YouTube.
All right. Well, no, I'm still on. Do you want to bring out everyone so I can,
I was just want to let you got a Shavaris Moses, has an attorney, Kaplan Shaw. We gave him the information that he's gonna need, but his
okay.
his client is Shavaris Moses.
Okay, Shavaris Moses.
His attorney's name is Kaplan Shaw.
All right.
Okay, we'll bring everybody out.
Thank you. This is Judge Fox. Do I have someone logging into the Zoom? Is that Attorney Shaw?
Yes, ma'am. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. What's your first name?
My name is Calvin, Kalpin.
All right.
Judge,
And
my
you have
Shavarius Moses.
okay. I will do his case first after I give everyone their instructions.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
All right, Deputy Gaines, if you have everyone?
Ma'am, we ready.
All right. Good morning. I'm Judge Salvia Fox. Today is July 11, 2020. I'm going to conduct your first appearance hearing here in Magistrate Court in Clayton County. I want to go over a few things with you so you understand the nature of these proceedings. I'm not here to take a plea or to try your case this morning. Instead, I'm here to let you know what you are charged with, if you have a bond, if so, what that bond amount is, and to give you your next scheduled court date. I'm also going to appoint an attorney to represent each one of you. I want to go over what your rights are. During this and all other proceedings, you have the right to the presumption of innocence until the state proves your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. The right to indictment by the grand jury for most felonies or by accusation for misdemeanors. The right to a speedy and public trial by jury. The right to see, hear, and cross-examine all witnesses that are called to testify against you. The right to compel the attendance of witnesses in your own behalf by subpoena. The right to testify and offer other evidence in your own defense. The right to be represented by an attorney. Some of you will be allowed to post unrestricted bonds. Those bonds may be in cash, commercial, or property bonds. If you post a cash bond, you will deliver the full amount of your bond in cash to the sheriff's office. You will receive all of that money back after the final disposition of your case. If you do not have the full amount in cash, you can go through a commercial bonding company. These are private companies. They charge different fees, typically up to 15% of the amount of your bond. Now, once you pay this money to the bonding company, you will not receive that money back. If you decide to post a property bond, you would need to find someone that has 3 times the amount of equity in their property as the amount of your bond. If you're on probation, this court is not authorized to set a bond for you at this time. Some of you have charges where magistrate court is not authorized to set a bond. In that case, I will set a bond hearing for you in front of a superior court judge. All of you all will have a special condition not to violate any laws while you are out on bond. Some of you will have additional special conditions which will prohibit you from contacting certain people or going back to separate locations. That will be provided to you on a separate form. For those of you that have felony charges, your preliminary hearing will be set for August 26th at 8 o'clock in courtroom 201. If you have misdemeanor charges, your preliminary hearing will be set for August 18th at 8:30 in courtroom 203. Now, if you have only misdemeanor charges, you will have the option of waiving that preliminary hearing in August and expediting your case to state court. You will receive a hearing date to state court in about 10 days if you decide to waive. If you have a felony charge, you'll have to wait and speak with your attorney first before you decide whether or not you want to waive your preliminary hearing. I'm going to call each one of you up individually and go through your charges and your bond amount. I'm going to start with Shavarius Moses, and then I'm going to do the females after that. Deputy Gaines, can you turn the laptop a little bit? Because I can't see him. Thank you. All right, are you Shavarius Moses?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Good afternoon, sir. I have your attorney, Calvin Shaw, on the line on the Zoom hearing. Mr. Shaw, are you there?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
All right. Mr. Shaw, do you waive formal reading of the charges?
Yes, Judge, I do. My understanding is that it's 3 charges. Is that correct? Either way, Judge, it's fine. I'll get the paperwork later. Copies of the warrant.
Last one?
Are we still connected, Judge?
Judge, we can't hear you.
Oh, you can't hear me?
I can hear you, but I can hear the judge.
Oh, okay, yeah, same here.
She's probably on the phone with somebody, man. Probably got on mute.
Mr. Shaw?
Okay, we can hear
Yes,
you.
ma'am.
Okay. Sorry, something going on with the Zoom. You were about to say something before I read the charges?
Oh, no, we waived the formal reading of the charges. I just
Okay.
need the warrant numbers, Judge, if you have it.
All right. For expired tag, the warrant number is 2020 WA 11798. Is a $500 bond. Possession of firearm by a felon, the warrant number is 2020 WA 11799. There is no bond because he's on probation in Newton County Superior Court. And then the theft by receiving stolen property, the warrant number is 2020 WA 11800. No bond because he's on probation in Newton County.
Yes, ma'am.
The preliminary hearing is set for August 26th at 8 o'clock in courtroom 201.
Yes, ma'am. And we do not wish to waive that.
Okay.
I'm not exactly. Yes, ma'am. Would the bond hearing also be set for the same day, Judge?
You will have to file a motion for the bond hearing. You can always talk to the district attorney's office about that. Right now, we're typically doing bond hearings on Fridays.
Yes, ma'am.
So you can file something and try to get it set for a Friday.
I see. So it could actually be set for something even sooner than that, potentially.
Yes, but right now it's the issue with his probation.
Yes, ma'am, of course.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Shaw, and thank
Yes,
you,
sure.
Mr. Moses. You're excused to go with the deputy. Thank you, sir.
You need to sign a waiver.
Yes, ma'am.
No,
Your Honor,
there's-
we are excused. Go ahead.
Oh, they were asking if he needed to sign a waiver. He does not need to sign a waiver.
Oh, sorry.
And Mr. Shaw, you had something additional?
Oh, no, I was just asking to be excused. That's all, Judge.
Oh, yes, you're excused. Thank you. Have a good weekend.
You as well, Judge. Everyone
All
stay
right.
safe.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
All right, let me have Erica Bond.
Yes, Your Honor.
And after Ms. Bond will be Francis Jordan.
Francis Jordan. Francis Jordan.
Remember, Francis Jordan was the one that was in medical, Judge.
Oh, yeah, okay, I got that. Then after Erica Bond will be Sahara James.
Okay.
All right.
Good afternoon, are you Miss Bond?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, ma'am, do you waive the formal reading of your charges or do you want them read to you?
I want them read to me.
All right, you're charged with criminal damage to property in the second degree. Your bond is $5,000. Criminal trespass, your bond is $1,500. Disorderly conduct, your bond is $1,500. You have a special condition not to violate any laws while you're out on bond, and also to have no violent or harassing contact with Jeremy Youst. The probable cause affidavit indicates on July 9th 2020 in Clayton County, Georgia, at 6690 Church Street in Riverdale. The offender did commit the following violations of Georgia law: criminal damage to property, criminal trespass, and disorderly conduct. In that she did intentionally damage the victim's vehicle by busting out all of Jeremy Yass' windows, and the damages exceeded over $500. The said offender, Erica Bond, did commit the offense of criminal trespass when she damaged the passenger rear door, leaving a softball-sized dent of the victim, Adriana Perry, while a 2-year-old child was inside the vehicle. The said offender, Erica Bond, did commit the offense of disorderly conduct when she was acting in a violent or tumultuous manner by fighting and being irate in the public towards Jeremy Yass. All right, and ma'am, I've appointed an attorney to represent you. Do you want to waive your preliminary hearing?
No.
All right, it will be set for August 18th at 8:30 in courtroom 203. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
And are you Miss James?
Yes.
Tahara James?
Yes.
All right. Ma'am, you're charged with criminal trespass. Your bond is $1,500. You have a special condition not to violate any laws while you are out on bond. I'm going to give you a $1,500 bond. I'm going to release you on your own recognizance and let you sign a signature bond. You understand that, ma'am?
Yes.
Do you waive the formal reading of your charges?
Yes.
All right. And I've appointed an attorney to represent you. And since I'm releasing you on a signature bond, I'll need for you to sign a waiver of the preliminary hearing, and then you'll receive your next court date in the mail.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
All right.
It's Kiara Smith, Judge.
All right. Hold on just a moment.
Thank you.
Okay, Kiara Smith. I don't have a Kiara Smith. Your first name is Kiara?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right, you are charged with battery, all right. Your bond is $4,000. You have a special condition to stay away and have no contact with Marquavis Meadows and not to violate any laws while you're out on bond. Do you waive the formal reading of your charges, ma'am?
I don't understand what waiving that
Do
means.
you want me, do you know what you're charged with, or do you want me to read the warrant?
you know, simple battery,
All
right?
right. Yes. And I've appointed an attorney to represent you. Do you want to waive your preliminary hearing and expedite your case to state court?
No,
All right, so your hearing will be set for August 18th at 8:30 in courtroom 203. Thank you, ma'am.
Let me get Elizabeth Williams.
Elizabeth Williams.
Elizabeth Williams.
Coming up, Judge.
Okay,
And just a little note, Judge, Chelsea Smith bonded out. Chelsea Smith bonded out. So you won't need to do her.
okay.
Yes, ma'am.
You, Miss Williams?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good morning, ma'am. You are charged with criminal trespass, damage to property. Your bond is $2,000. You have a special condition not to violate any laws while you're out on bond and to have no violence or harassing contact with Vadicia Parker. Do you understand that, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and I'm going to appoint an attorney to represent you. Do you waive the formal reading of your charges?
What you mean?
Do you want the warrant read to you, or do you understand what you're charged with?
Yes, I want the warrant read to me because I don't understand none of this on, you know.
All right, it says on June 19th, 2019 at 6883 Mystic Lane in Morrow, the defendant, Elizabeth Williams, did commit the offense of criminal trespass, damage to property against the state of Georgia, and in that said defendant did knowingly and maliciously interfere with the possession and use of the property of the victim, Ms. Vadicia Parker, when she removed Ms. Parker from the home where she lives and kept her locked out, while some of her property, including a cell phone and medications, were still inside. Ms. Parker and Ms. Williams lived together. This occurred in Clayton County. Do you want to waive your preliminary hearing?
Yes. Well, would I be able to speak my case? To state my
Oh,
case?
yes. You'll still be able to bond out with the $2,000 bond. You'll have an attorney, and if you waive, you'll get your next court date in the mail.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, ma'am. So they will have a waiver form for you to sign.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, I got the money in my phone.
Chelsea Bullard.
yes, ma'am.
All right. Good afternoon, ma'am. We
Afternoon.
charge you with theft of lost or mislaid property. Your bond is $2,000. You have a special condition not to violate any laws while you're out on bond. Do you waive the formal reading of your charges, or do you want them read to you?
You can read them to me.
All right, it says on May 2nd, 2017 at 8700 Spine Road in Atlanta, Clayton County, Georgia, the defendant did commit the offense of theft of lost or mislaid property against the state of Georgia, and that said defendant did take control of a wallet and credit cards belonging to Jared Dunn, knowing said property was lost or mislaid, and appropriate said property unto herself without intending to return it to the lawful owner. The value of the property is less than $1,500. I'm going to appoint an attorney to represent you. Would you like to waive your preliminary hearing and expedite your case to state court?
Yes,
All right, so they will have a waiver form for you to sign. And if you bond out, you'll get your next court date in the mail. If not, you'll have a court date in state court in about 10 days. Thank you, ma'am.
thank you.
Oh, man. This way.
Heather Neely.
Yeah, no problem. Nearly?
And after Miss Neely will be Bianca Smith. All right. How you doing, ma'am? Are you Miss Neely? All right. You are charged with battery, family violence. Your bond is $3,000. You have a special condition to stay away and have no contact with Kiara Nashia Hines. Also not to violate any laws while you're out on bond. Do you waive the formal reading of your charges or do you want them read to you?
I understand.
Okay. And I'm going to appoint an attorney to represent you. Do you want to waive your preliminary hearing?
No, ma'am.
All right, I'm gonna set it for August 18th at 8:30 in courtroom 203. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Bianca Smith, after Ms. Smith,
Yes, ma'am.
you said Chelsea Smith bonded out. Okay,
Edgar also bonded out. Edgar, the one from medical, she bonded out as well.
oh, she did? Okay, because I think I put hers
He's got the call on.
to the side, okay. All right, the next will be Megan Jones.
Megan Jones.
Wait, you said Takira Edward bonded out, right?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Right, and Ms. Smith, you're charged with battery. You have no bond set at this time because you're currently on 4 years probation in Clayton County Superior Court. You have a special condition to stay away and have no contact with Aaron Monteague and not to violate any laws while you're on bond.
Excuse me, can I ask you a question?
Hold on just a moment, ma'am. I'm going to appoint an attorney to represent you. What's your question, ma'am?
Why does it say that I'm on probation in Clayton County? I'm not on probation now.
You have a case from 2017, case number 2017 CR 00288. Have you ever had a case in Superior Court in Clayton County?
Yeah, but I don't report here no more.
Okay, even if you're on non-reporting status, you're still on probation, and by law, that's what your criminal background shows. So I'm going to appoint an attorney to represent you. If they find something different, then they can present that to the court, but your criminal background shows that you're on probation. Now, I know after 2 years, typically in Clayton County, you're on non-reporting probation, but you're still on probation. So if you pick up a new charge, then your probation officer still has the opportunity to revoke your probation. So you'll have to speak with your attorney about that.
And now,
Do you waive the formal reading of your charges, ma'am?
ma'am,
Do you waive the formal reading of your charges, or do you want the warrant read to you?
oh no, I don't need the warrant read to me. I just want to know why I say Clayton and I'm on probation. They switched it to Fulton County months ago. I report to Fulton.
Okay, that may be where you report, but the probation originated out of Clayton County Superior Court. Okay.
I was wondering.
So it will be up to your current probation officer on whether or not they're going to file to revoke your probation. So speak to your attorney about that, and they can probably talk to your probation officer.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Your preliminary hearing is August 18th, or do you want to waive that hearing and expedite your case to state court?
What does that mean?
If you want to get in court faster in state court, where they handle misdemeanor cases, you can waive your preliminary hearing in magistrate court, and you'll get a hearing in state court in about 10 days.
Okay, so my charge, the battery charge is, like, I can get that heard in state court?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So they'll have a waiver form for you to sign.
Yes,
All right. And then you'll get a court date in state court.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you, ma'am. Give me just a second. Are you Megan Jones? All right, Ms. Jones, you're charged with theft by deception and deposit account fraud. You currently do not have a bond set because you are on 12 months probation out of Clayton County Superior Court. Case number 2019 CR 07146. Ma'am, do you waive the formal reading of your charges or do you want them read to you? All right, the warrant indicates on November 1st, 2019 at 653 Point South Parkway in Jonesboro, the defendant Megan Shereen Jones did commit the offense of theft by deception against the state of Georgia, and that said defendant did obtain a rental lease to live at the incident location by deceitful means. The accused entered into a leasing contract to a residential property, incident location 653 Point South Parkway in Jonesboro in Clayton County. The accused by deceitful means provided false documents included in the rental contract, false pay stubs, false work history, and criminal history to the victim, Andreas Bloch. The deception committed by the accused was to deprive the lawful owner of said property rental income. Said property being worth $1,500 or more, but less than $5,000, with the intent to deprive said owner of said property income. A rental income from November 2019 to January 2020 valued at $950 a month, to include a rental security deposit of $1,200 for damage and or rental lease breach for an approximate total of $4,050. The accused provided false documents to the victim in an attempt to deceive the victim into renting the incident location property. While the accused lived at the location, she provided 4 check payments. Check 110 for $827.42. Check 111 for $1,200. Check 114 for $862.42, and check 116 for $1,200, which all returned unpaid due to insufficient funds. The victim has never received rental reimbursement due to the deception committed by the accused. The accused was contacted for an interview but declined to participate in this investigation. The accused was removed from the incident location property on January 5th, 2020, with an eviction order issued by the Clayton County courts using the Clayton County Sheriff's Department.
Excuse me, Judge.
Hold on, ma'am. Do you want me to read it for the deposit account fraud, or do you understand what you're charged with?
Yes, you can read it to me.
Can't hear you, Judge. It's closed process now.
Yes, ma'am, you can read it to me.
All right, hold on, I'm trying to get it. All right. For the deposit account fraud, same incident location the defendant did on November 4th and November 15th, 2011, delivered check 110, $827.42. Check 111, $1,200. Check 114, $862.42. And check 116, $1,200 to the victim, Andreas Bloch, in the amount of approximate total $4,050 for rent payments for incident location, residential property located at 653 Point South Parkway in Jonesboro, Clayton County. The accused, knowing that said check would not be honored by the dryee, the Bancorp Bank, and it has the routing number and account number, due to insufficient funds, account closed. All right. Ma'am, I'm going to appoint an attorney. These are both felony charges. I'm going to appoint an attorney to represent you. Your preliminary hearing is set for August 26th at 8 o'clock in courtroom 201. Thank you, ma'am.
Please.
You'll be able to speak with your attorney. I'm unable to set bond for you due to your probation. Next will be Courtney Marion. All right, can you unmute? You have the deputy unmute the laptop. Okay. All right. Are you Miss Courtney Marion? All right. Good afternoon, ma'am. You're charged with forged or counterfeited trademarks. Your bond is $10,000. You have a special condition not to violate any laws while you are out on bond. Do you waive the formal reading of your charges, or do you want them read to you?
I don't know what any of that means, so.
Okay, I'll read it to you. The probable cause affidavit indicates on July 10th, 2020 in Clayton County, Georgia, at 5226 Highway 85, Unit 4 in Atlanta, at approximately 15:10 hours. The defendant did commit the following violations of Georgia law: forged or counterfeited trademarks, and that said offender did work at Established Fashions and Wigs at 5226 Highway 85. A search warrant was executed at the business, resulting in approximately $500,000 worth of counterfeited trademark items being seized, bearing the names Versace, Louis Vuitton, Gucci, Chanel, Fendi, Burberry, Christian Dior, Rolex, and others. These items were confirmed counterfeit and forged by experts. All right, ma'am, I'm going to appoint an attorney to represent you. Your preliminary hearing is set for August 26th at 8 o'clock in courtroom 201. Thank you, ma'am. Alicia Williams.
What's the name, Your Honor?
You said what?
What's the name again?
Alicia Williams.
Alicia Williams.
Alicia Williams. Alicia Williams.
Is that the last female you all have that's not in medical?
Right there. Yes, we're bringing her up now. The other one.
Okay. All right. Are you Miss Williams?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Good afternoon, ma'am. You are charged with criminal damage to property in the second degree. Your bond is $7,500. You have a special condition not to violate any laws while you are out on bond, and also to have no violence or harassing contact with Bruce Griffin. Ma'am, do you waive the formal reading of your charges, or do you want them read to you?
I have no contact with my baby father, so he can't take care of his son. I have to go to child support. Yes.
You want to read the charge?
No, she didn't.
Do you waive the formal reading of your charges?
You can read them to me.
All right. It indicates on July 10th in 2020 in Clayton County, Georgia at 228 Morrow Road in Forest Park. Said defendant did commit the following violations of Georgia law: criminal damage to property in the second degree by intentionally damaging the property of the victim, Bruce Griffin, whom she shares a child with without his consent, and the damages exceed $500. The victim's property was an Acura TL black in color and was damaged by the offender when she slashed both front and back left side tires, jumped on the hood, and scratched the hood. Upon making contact with the offender at her apartment, she stated her reason for damaging the car is she wanted to get back. She wanted some get back. While speaking to the victim, offender made statements over the phone, which my body cam recorded. I busted your tires and you didn't even come outside. Both parties live together and share a child, making this offense an act of family violence. Ma'am, I have appointed an attorney to represent you. Your preliminary hearing is August 26th at 8 o'clock in courtroom 201. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, I got Maria Johnson.
You have who?
Maria Johnson?
Francis Johnson?
What's your name?
Maria Johnson.
Okay, Francis Johnson. Hold on, Judge.
I thought Francis Johnson was in medical.
No, this is Maria Johnson. You had another Johnson on here.
Oh, Maria Johnson.
Yes, ma'am. Maria Renee Johnson. She's on
Okay.
too.
Maria Johnson, your case is going to be continued until tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock. The officer needs to amend the warrant. So we will see you in the morning. Thank you, ma'am.
Where you just come from?
Oh, he said,
Right, that's all the females except for Francis Jordan in medical.
Okay. Go back.
At the jail, were there any other females that weren't in medical other than Francis Jordan?
Yeah, that's the only when you have the one in medical, Judge.
Okay, let me have 4 co-defendants. I need to advise them that their case is going to be continued.
Okay.
Devorius Jones,
What's the name?
Roderick Dunn,
Say, Judge, say the names again. I'm sorry.
Devorius Jones,
Okay.
Roderick Dunn, Amir
Okay.
Bernard, Jabri Robinson, Devorius Jones, Roderick Dunn, Amir Bernard, and Jabri Robinson.
Okay, let me get them up for you right quick.
Okay.
And listen up for your name. You hear your name come out. Bernard, Amir Bernard, Jabir Robinson, Roderick Dunn, Deborah Jones. None of them in here? Hey, listen up for your name. Roderick Dunn, Amir Bernard, Jabir Robinson, and Deborah Jones. Step out to those 4 names only. Just kind of. And then you're gonna make one line across, one line across.
All right. Do I have Devorius Jones?
Devorius Jones, right there.
All right. Roderick Dunn.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Amir Bernard.
Yes, ma'am.
Jabri Robinson. All right. You all I've been charged in the same case from Friday, July 10th, yesterday. Trafficking, looks like ecstasy, possession of firearms, theft by receiving firearms, those charges. The officer needs to amend the warrant. Your case is going to be continued until tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock.
Okay.
So I believe it's going to be Judge McFarland, but it will be continued until 11 o'clock.
Okay. Ma'am, who was on the scene, ma'am? They don't talk about the case. Oh, I wasn't.
You had a question?
Nah, no, man. I was just trying to ask, like, because when we was out, they said they're gonna fix our charges. They got everybody charged with the same thing, and that's incorrect.
That's what I'm telling you. The officer needs to amend the warrants.
Ma'am.
I do not have everything correct.
Okay, ma'am.
And you all are charged with trafficking. I can't give you a bond on a trafficking charge. That would have to be a bond hearing scheduled before a superior court judge. So I don't know if the officer is charging everybody with trafficking or what. That's why it's going to be continued. All right, tomorrow at 11 o'clock.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right.
Okay, Judge. Who you want?
Okay. Let me see who I want next. All right, let me have Martin Iloka.
Martin Elopa.
Eloka, E-L-O-K-A. That's from the calendar from yesterday.
Oh, hold on. I didn't know we had an ad on. It's from yesterday? Below?
Yes.
Say the name again, Judge.
Martins Iloka. The LE number is 208-2867. You don't have him?
No, Judge.
Okay. All right. I need him. If you all will be able to get him. Let's move on to Keenan Bird.
Okay, Keenan Bird.
After Mr. Bird will be Terry Daniels.
Terry Daniels is inactive.
What does that mean?
He's not in custody anymore. He's out on bond. He's not
on bond? Okay. Wendell Francis. After Keenan Bird. Wendell Francis.
Wendell Francis.
All right. Are you Keenan Bird?
Yes, I am.
All right. Good afternoon, sir. You are charged with simple battery. Your bond is $4,000. You have a special condition to stay away and have no contact with Maisha Robertson and not to violate any laws while on bond. Sir, do you waive the formal reading of your charges or do you want them read to you?
You can read them to me.
All right. It says that you did intentionally make physical contact and intentionally cause physical harm to said victim, Maisha Robertson, by punching her in the face and body with a closed fist. Maisha Robertson did not have any physical injuries, marks, or bruises. I'm going to appoint an attorney to represent you. Do you want to waive your preliminary hearing? If you waive it, then you'll get a hearing in state court in 10 days. If not, you'll have a preliminary hearing on August 18th. If you bond out, the preliminary hearing will automatically be waived by law and you'll get your next court date in the mail.
Okay, I'll waive it.
All right. Sir, they will have a waiver form for you to sign and then you'll be excused to go back with the deputy. Thank you, sir. Wendell Francis, After Mr. Francis will be Jordan Howard. All right, are you Mr. Francis?
Yes.
All right, sir, you are charged with violating the hours of operation of a county park. You have a $500 bond. I'm gonna let you sign that. Sign a signature bond. You'll be released on your own recognizance. I think you also had a giving false name charge. I denied that, so you're not charged with that. I dismissed that. You have a special condition not to violate any laws while you are out on bond. Sir, do you waive the formal reading of your charges or do you want them read to you?
I wanted to respond to what you said just a moment ago about the false name.
I dismissed that charge.
Okay.
Do you waive the formal reading of your charges or do you want them read to you? Do you understand what you're charged with the violation? Okay.
Understand.
All right, I'm going to appoint an attorney to represent you. Since I'm releasing you on a signature bond, I need for you to sign a waiver of the preliminary hearing and you will receive your next court date in the mail. All right? Thank you, sir. Jordan Howard.
Yeah.
Hello, how are you?
After Mr. Howard will be Antonio McClendon. All right. Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
How are you?
I'm good. Sir, you are charged with disorderly conduct, obstructing an officer, and simple assault. After reviewing the warrant, I did not find probable cause for the simple assault charge, so I'm dismissing that. For the disorderly conduct and obstructing an officer, you have each charge has a $1,500 bond. I am going to release you on your own recognizance and let you sign a signature bond. Do you understand that, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
And you will have a special condition not to violate any laws while you're out on bond, okay? Do you waive the formal reading of your charges or do you want them read to you?
No, ma'am. I'm fine.
All right. I'm going to appoint an attorney to represent you. Since I'm letting you sign a signature bond and you're going to be released, you'll need to sign a waiver of the preliminary hearing and you'll get your next court date in the mail. All right. Thank you, sir. Antonio McClendon. After Mr. McClendon will be Deshaun Ricks. Are you Mr. McClendon?
Ma'am.
All right. Sir, you are charged with obstructing an officer in a tinted window violation. For the obstructing an officer, your bond is $1,500. For the tinted window, it's $500. I'm going to release you on your own recognizance and let you sign a signature bond. Do you understand that, sir?
Ma'am.
All right. But you will have a special condition not to violate any laws while you are out on bond.
Okay.
Do you waive the formal reading of your charges?
Yes.
All right. I'm going to appoint an attorney to represent you. I need for you to sign a waiver of the preliminary hearing since you're going to be released, and then you'll receive your next court date in the mail.
Okay. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you. Deshaun Ricks.
How you doing now?
I'm good. Thank you. After Mr. Ricks will be Marquise Robinson.
Okay.
All right. Mr. Ricks, you are charged with battery. Your bond is $4,000. Cruelty to children, your bond is $6,000. You have a special condition to stay away and have no contact with Joya Moody and not to violate any laws while you're out on bond. Do you understand that, sir?
Yes, ma'am. Well, I was trying. I didn't know. I really didn't have no hearings of this.
Well, this is your first hearing, right? So do you waive the formal reading of your charges or do you want them read to you?
No, ma'am. I was trying to see if it was possible if like they can give me a signature bond or.
We don't do signature bonds on family violence charges.
Lower the bond because I don't have.
So you understand what your charge?
Yeah, I don't even know nothing, because I just with my girl, like, I got pulled over because I got in a car accident, so I called the police. Then that's when,
Okay, hold on. Don't say anything. Don't say anything else. Let me read the warrant to you. All right. Indicates on July 6, 2020 at 6009 Riverdale Road in Atlanta, defendant Deshaun Ricks did commit the offense of battery, family violence against the state of Georgia, and that said defendant did intentionally cause substantial physical harm to his living girlfriend, Joya Moody, by punching her in the face several times, leaving bruises while sitting inside of his vehicle. The victim advised the offender, Deshaun Ricks, grabbed her arm while she was sitting inside of her vehicle and caused a bruise to appear. The victim stated the offender dragged her when they both were inside of his friend's apartment, which caused a bruise on her back. That is for the battery, family violence charge. Hold on.
is it possible if they can lower the bond? Because I take care of my grandma, like,
Hold on, sir. For the cruelty to children charge, indicates said defendant, the primary aggressor, having now the same date, same incident location, having knowledge that a child under the age of 18 is present and sees or hears the act of the accused, did commit family violence battery against Joya Moody when he intentionally punched the victim in the face several times in front of her child, Chanel Morris. Morris advised the offender dragged and choked her inside of his friend's apartment. I'm going to appoint an attorney to represent you. Do you want to waive your preliminary hearing and expedite your case to state court?
I don't know what that means really, man.
All right, I'm gonna set it for August 18th at 8:30 in courtroom 203. All right, thank you, sir.
Oh, I can ask one question, ma'am?
If it's about your bond,
Yeah, it's about my bond.
okay.
Is it possible if they can, like, lower it a little bit? Because I
No, sir, it's $6,000 for both charges. All right, thank you, sir.
6,000 altogether?
Yes,
So it's not 10,000, it's 6?
it's 6,000.
I wear hearing aids.
That's it.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
All right, thank you, sir.
That's my bad, bro. I couldn't hear them.
No, I really, I don't understand.
All right, you Marquise Robinson?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Get my paperwork together. After Mr. Robinson will be Marquez Witcher. Mr. Robinson, you're charged with driving under the influence of alcohol, less safe, $5,000 bonds, failing to yield the right of way, $500 bonds, improper turn, $500 bonds, open container violation, $500 bond. You have a special condition not to violate any laws while you're out on bond. Sir, do you waive the formal reading of your charges? Or do you want them read to you?
No, I know what I did.
All right. And sir, I'm going to appoint an attorney to represent you. Do you want to waive your preliminary hearing and expedite your case to state court?
No.
All right. Your hearing will be August 18th at 8:30 in courtroom 203. Thank you, sir.
Can you tell me like the total of everything?
6,500. Thank you, sir. Marquez Witcher.
Judge, give me the LE number for that person that you need again.
Okay. 208
Uh-huh.
2867.
Okay, I'm gonna get them right quick.
Okay. Are you Marquez Witcher?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, sir, you are charged with battery. Your bond is $4,000. You have a special condition to stay away and have no contact with Ambera Himes.
Okay.
Also not to violate any laws while on bond. Do you understand that, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, do you waive the formal reading of your charges?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I'm going to appoint an attorney to represent you. Do you want to waive your preliminary hearing and expedite your case to state court?
No, ma'am.
All right, I will set your hearing for August 18th at 8:30 a.m. in courtroom 203. Thank you, sir.
Thank
All right, let me have Lemuel Brown. Yep. Lemuel Brown. After Mr. Brown will be Jared Hampton.
Jared Hampton next.
Are you Mr. Brown?
Ma'am,
All right, good afternoon, sir.
how you doing, ma'am?
Good, thank you. Sir, you are charged with possession of marijuana with intent to distribute. Your bond is $5,000. Loitering or prowling, your bond is $1,000. And possession of marijuana over an ounce, your bond is $5,000. You have a special condition not to violate any laws while on bond. Sir, do you waive the formal reading of your charges?
What that mean?
Do you understand what you're charged with, or do you want me to read the warrant?
I have a warrant?
The probable cause affidavit that the officer, do you understand what you're charged with, or do you want me to read it?
Read it, because I don't really understand what I got a warrant for.
All right, on July 9th, 2020 in Clayton County, Georgia, at 6331 Terra Boulevard at approximately 18:11 hours. Said defendant, Lemuel Brown, did commit the following violations of Georgia law: possession of marijuana with intent to distribute, loitering, possession of marijuana over an ounce. In Clayton County, Georgia, deputies observed the accused standing on the side of the Texaco gas station located at 6331 Terra Boulevard, Jonesboro, Georgia. The accused appeared to be walking up to customers, appearing to be attempting to sell suspected narcotics or ask for a ride. Deputies attempted to make contact with the subject based on the suspicious activity. Upon sight of the deputies, the subject quickly entered the location. Contact was established with the accused by deputies upon entering the store. While speaking with the accused, deputies detected an odor of suspected marijuana coming from his person. A probable cause search was conducted, and approximately 35 grams of suspected marijuana packaged for individual sale was located inside a black in color book bag that the accused was wearing. Along with the suspected marijuana, there were numerous empty plastic bags of the type in which the suspected marijuana was packaged. Sir, I'm going to appoint an attorney to represent you. Your preliminary hearing is August 26th at 8 o'clock in courtroom 201. Thank you, sir.
I can't bond out?
Yeah, your bond is $11,000 for all three charges.
Okay.
Jared Hampton. After Mr. Hampton will be Thaddeus Housework.
Yes, ma'am. And Your Honor, for Mr. Martin Eloka, Eloka,
Yep.
he's out the bond.
Oh, okay.
And who's that?
All right, he's already out to bond. Thank you.
Who's after Mr. Hampton?
Thaddeus Housework.
Yes.
All right, Mr. Hampton, you're charged with violation of the Georgia Controlled Substances Act. Your bond is $5,000 on that charge. Possession of a weapon during a crime, your bond is $10,000. And carrying a concealed weapon, your bond is $5,000, total of $20,000 bond. Special condition not to violate any laws while on bond. Sir, do you waive the formal reading of your charges?
No, ma'am, I would like to hear.
All right, it indicates on July 9th, 2020 in Clayton County, Georgia, at Berkshire Court at North McDonough Street at approximately 11:20 hours. Jared Hampton did commit the following violations of Georgia law: possession with intent to distribute marijuana, possession of a firearm during a felony, carrying concealed weapon without a permit. And that said offender did Thursday, July 9th at 11:06 hours, affiant observed a black colored 2000 Nissan Maxima, Georgia temporary tag number 865665B, traveling north on Terra Boulevard within the city of Jonesboro, Clayton County, Georgia, 30236. The driver was not wearing a seatbelt and had his phone in his right hand. Affiant stopped this vehicle for these violations and could smell the odor of marijuana from inside the vehicle. Affiant also observed a brown colored purse type bag under the left leg of the passenger, Jared Hampton. Affiant had the driver and Mr. Hampton step out of the vehicle so that a probable cause search could be conducted. Affiant located a handgun holster in the front of Mr. Hampton's pants. During the probable cause search of the vehicle, Affiant located 5 individual bags of marijuana, a digital scale with marijuana droppings on it, and a Glock 27 .40 caliber handgun, serial number KKM473, which was fully loaded. Affiant removed the evidence from the vehicle, and Mr. Hampton stated, "That's not mine. I'm just holding it for someone." I asked Mr. Hampton if he has a permit to carry the pistol, and he stated that he does not have a permit. Mr. Hampton, under Miranda, said that the driver had nothing to do with the marijuana located, nor the handgun. Affiant placed Mr. Hampton under arrest for the above listed charges and released the driver with citations. I've appointed an attorney to represent you. Your preliminary hearing is set for August 26th at 8 o'clock in courtroom 201. Thank you, sir. That is Houseworth. After Mr. Houseworth will be Johnny Mann. Are you Mr. Houseworth?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Good afternoon, sir. You are charged with violation of the Georgia Controlled Substances Act. Your bond is $5,000. Use or possession of drug-related objects, your bond is $1,000. In violation of the seatbelt law, your bond is $500. You have a special condition not to violate any laws while you are out on bond. Sir, do you waive the formal reading of your charges?
So how much is my bond in all?
$6,500. Sir, do you waive the formal reading of your charges?
No, ma'am.
All right. It indicates on July 9th, 2020 in Clayton County, Georgia, at Riverdale Road at Airport Terminal at approximately 15:30 hours. Thaddeus Houseworth did commit the following violations of Georgia law: possession of crack cocaine, possession of drug-related objects, seatbelt violation. The officer, it says, I observed Houseworth driving a silver in color 4-door Mitsubishi Outlander bearing Illinois tag AY11969, driving northbound on Riverdale Road in the area of Sullivan Road with the driver Houseworth not wearing his seatbelt. I conducted a traffic stop and made contact with Houseworth. He gave a verbal consent to search the vehicle. I located 2 glass smoking pipes containing suspected crack cocaine residue and approximately 1 gram of suspected crack cocaine in a clear plastic wrap inside of an opened chip bag. Thaddeus Houseworth stated the suspected crack cocaine and smoking pipes were his. Sir, I have appointed an attorney to represent you. Your preliminary hearing is August 26th at 8 o'clock in courtroom 201. Thank you, sir. Johnny Mann. After Mr. Mann, will be Emery Parker. All right, are you Mr. Mann?
Yes, hey, how you doing, Judge?
I'm good, thank you, sir. You are charged with defective equipment. Your bond is $500. Reckless driving, your bond is $1,500. Fleeing from a police officer, your bond is $5,000. Possession of marijuana, 1 ounce or less, $1,500 bond. Possession of marijuana over an ounce, $5,000 bond. Use or possession of drug-related objects, $1,000 bond. You have a special condition not to violate any laws while you're out on bond. Sir, do you waive the formal reading of your charges?
What does that mean, sir?
Do you understand what you're charged with, or do you want me to read the affidavit to you?
Ma'am, I didn't have over an ounce, so I don't know how I get a charge for an ounce, and I didn't even have an ounce.
All right, do you waive the formal reading of your charges, or do you want me to read them to you?
I really don't understand, but I know one of them is wrong.
All right, on July 9th, 2020 in Clayton County, Georgia, at West Fayetteville Road and Norman Drive at approximately 17:20 hours, Johnny Mann did commit the following violations of Georgia law: defective equipment, reckless driving, fleeing to elude, possession of marijuana, less than an ounce. Oh, I'm sorry, it's not more than an ounce. Possession of marijuana with intent to distribute, and possession of drug-related objects. While operating a Nissan Altima bearing Georgia tag RQR5993 with a defective brake light on the driver's side of the vehicle, I got behind the vehicle in a marked vehicle and activated my emergency lights and sirens to initiate a traffic stop. The arrestee looked in his driver's side mirror, made visual contact with my marked vehicle with its emergency lights and sirens on, rolled up his driver's side window and drove onto oncoming traffic, almost causing a collision with oncoming vehicles. I pursued the vehicle where it ran the red light at Norman and Riverdale Road after weaving in and out of traffic, almost causing multiple other collisions. We continued on Riverdale Road where the arrestee continued to drive onto oncoming traffic, weave in and out of traffic, cut vehicles off the roadway, until it proceeded to get on the ramp of 285 westbound off of Riverdale Road. At that point, the road became open and I initiated a pit maneuver where the vehicle was safely taken off the roadway. Once it was stopped, the arrestee was removed from the vehicle and placed in handcuffs. A search incident to the arrest yielded 3 clear plastic baggies of marijuana, a black digital scale, and a wad of cash. A search of the vehicle yielded 2 boxes of clear plastic sandwich bags and a bag of multiple clear plastic baggies. I'm going to appoint an attorney to represent you. Your preliminary hearing is August 26th at 8 o'clock in courtroom 201. Thank you, sir. Emery Parker. After Mr. Parker will be Chad Payne.
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you Mr. Parker?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, sir, you are charged with hindering apprehension. Your bond is $10,000. You have a special condition not to violate any laws while you are out on bond. Sir, do you waive the formal reading of your charges?
Does that mean you want to read them to me or something like that?
What do you mean?
Yes, do you waive the formal reading?
No, I would like to hear my charges.
All right, the affidavit indicates on July 9th, 2020, in Clayton County, Georgia, at 11689 Fleming Court in Hampton. The offender did hinder the apprehension of Emery Parker, who he knew to be wanted by the Cobb County Sheriff's Office for terroristic threats, felony, warrant number 20-W-1132. When he attempted to hide his identical twin brother in their shared residence and prevent deputies from executing a warrant. The warrant address located at 11689 Fleming Court. The above incident did occur in Clayton County, Georgia. I'm going to appoint an attorney to represent you. Your preliminary hearing is set for August 26th at 8 o'clock in courtroom 201. Thank you, sir. Chad Payne. All right, after Mr. Payne will be Rayvon Perez. Are you Mr. Payne? All right, sir, you are charged with 2 counts of violation of the Georgia Controlled Substances Act, use or possession of drug-related objects and driving on the wrong side of the road. For the possession of methamphetamine, the first charge, it's a $5,000 bond. The second charge, meth with intent to distribute, $10,000 bond. Use or possession of drug-related objects, a $1,000 bond, and driving on the wrong way, a $500 bond. So you have a total of $16,500. Special condition not to violate any laws while you're out on bond. Are you all able to take that laptop off of mute? The jail, the laptop, okay. Sir, do you waive the formal reading of your charges?
I'm sorry, do I what, ma'am?
Do you waive the formal reading of your charges?
What does that
Or
mean?
do you want the affidavit read to you?
No, I'll wait it.
All right. Sir, I'm going to appoint an attorney to represent you, and your preliminary hearing is set for August 26th at 8 o'clock in courtroom 201. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Rayvon Perez. After Mr. Perez will be Joshua Walton. Are you Mr. Perez?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Good afternoon, sir. You are charged with tinted window violation, $500 bond, improper passing, $500 bond, improper lane change, $500 bond, reckless driving, $1,500 bond, red light violation, $500 bond, improper U-turn, $500 bond, failure to yield the right of way, $500 bond, fleeing or attempting to elude police officers, $5,000 bond, hit and run, $2,000 bond, unlawful use of license, $500 bond, driving while license suspended, $1,500 bond. You have a special condition not to violate any laws while on bond. Do you waive the formal reading of your charges?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
All right. And I'm going to appoint an attorney to represent you. Your preliminary hearing is set for August 26th at 8 o'clock in courtroom 201. Thank you. Have a good day.
Can I ask you a question? Am I able to find out on those charges that I have today?
Yes, you
Okay.
have a bond on all your charges.
Thank you, Judge Sylvia.
All right, thank you. Joshua Walton.
Ma'am, how you doing?
After Mr. Walton will be Broderick with a B. Broderick Wimby, and then Roderick Wimby.
Okay.
Joshua Walton, you're charged with concealing license plate, $500 bond, loitering or prowling, $1,000 bond, possession of marijuana, 1 ounce or less, $1,500 bond, theft by receiving stolen property, $7,500 bond. You have a special condition not to violate any laws while out on bond. Sir, do you waive the formal reading of your charges?
I waive.
Okay. You said yes?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And sir, I'm going to appoint an attorney to represent you. Your preliminary hearing is August 26th at 8 o'clock in courtroom 201. Thank you, sir. All right, Broderick Wimby and then Roderick Wimby. How you doing, sir? Are you Broderick
Yes, ma'am.
Wimby
Yes.
with the B? All right. Sir, you are charged with battery, family violence. Your bond is $4,000. I'm sorry. False imprisonment. Your bond is $5,000. Cruelty to children in the 3rd degree. Your bond is $2,000. You have a special condition to stay away, have no contact with Nikithia Jones, and not to violate any laws while on bond. Sir, do you waive the formal reading of your charges?
Yes.
All right. Sir, I'm going to appoint an attorney to represent you, and your preliminary hearing is set for August 26th at 8 o'clock in courtroom 201. Thank you, sir. Okay, Roderick Wimby, and then, yeah, that's it. All right. Are you Mr. Roderick Wimby?
Yes.
All right. Good afternoon, sir. You are charged with battery. Your bond is $4,000. False imprisonment. Your bond is $5,000. And cruelty to children in the 3rd degree. Your bond is $2,000. You have a special condition to stay away and have no contact with Nikithia Jones and not to violate any laws while you are out on bond. Do you waive the formal reading of your charges?
Yes.
All right. I'm going to appoint an attorney to represent you. Your preliminary hearing is set for August 26th at 8 o'clock in courtroom 201. Thank you, sir. All right. Andre Cook, and after Mr. Cook will be Jabron Grant.
Your Honor, you froze up on the first.
Oh, Andre Cook, can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Andre Cook.
Yep. Andre Cook, and then Jabron Grant.
Jabron Grant next.
Cook and then Grant.
No, you can leave it off. Leave it off. So she can hear you.
All right, are you Mr. Cook?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good afternoon, sir. You are charged with driving with while unlicensed. Your bond is $1,500. I'm gonna release you on your own recognizance and let you sign a signature bond. You will have a special condition not to violate any laws while you're out on bonds. Just a tip, if you don't have a license, don't drive. So then we won't end up back here in this situation.
Okay.
All right, sir. Do you waive the formal reading of your charges?
Yes.
All right. I'm going to appoint an attorney to represent you. I'll need for you to sign a waiver since I'm releasing you on a signature bond of your preliminary hearing. And then once you're released, well, after that, you'll be mailed your next court date. All right?
All right.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Jabron Grant. And after Mr. Grant will be David Henderson. How you doing, Mr. Grant? Sir, you are charged with battery. Your bond is $4,000. You have a special condition to stay away and have no contact with Janitha Owens and not to violate any laws while you are out on bond. Do you understand that, sir? All right. Do you waive the formal reading of your charges? All right. I'm going to appoint an attorney to represent you. Do you want to waive your preliminary hearing and expedite your case to state court?
No, ma'am.
All right. Your hearing will be set for August 18th at 8:30 in courtroom 203. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, David Henderson. So are you Mr. Henderson?
Yes.
All right, and after Mr. Henderson, will be Marcus Hooks.
Yeah.
All right, Mr. Henderson, you are charged with criminal trespass, damage to property. Your bond is $2,000, and simple assault, family violence. Your bond is $4,000. You have a special condition to stay away and have no contact with Courtney Love, not to return to or go upon the premises located at 1048 Flat Shoals Road, apartment 801 in Atlanta, not to violate any laws while you are on bonds. If you have any personal property like clothing at that location, you can contact the sheriff's office to schedule an appointment to get an escort to take you back to that property one time to get your belongings. You understand that, sir?
Yes, ma'am. So my bond is,
All right. Do you waive the formal reading of your charges, sir?
yes.
All right. I'm going to appoint an attorney to represent you. Do you want to waive your preliminary hearing and expedite your case to state court?
Yes.
All right. So they will have a waiver form for you to sign, and then you will be excused. Thank you, sir. All right. Are you Marcus Hooks?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Good afternoon, sir. After Mr. Hooks will be Victor McNair.
He's out on bond.
He's out on bond, Your Honor.
Oh, okay. Corey Morgan. All right. Mr. Hooks, you are charged with driving on a suspended or revoked license. You have a $1,500 bond, possession of marijuana, 1 ounce or less, $1,500 bond, possession of a firearm by a felon. I didn't find probable cause for that in the warrant, so I dismissed that charge. So you just have the 2 misdemeanor charges with the total $3,000 bond, a special condition not to violate any laws while you are out on bonds. Do you waive the formal reading of your charges?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I'm going to appoint an attorney to represent you.
Excuse me, can you repeat what you said last? I couldn't hear
The
you.
officer charged you with possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, but I did not find probable cause for that charge in the affidavit submitted by the officer, so I dismissed that charge.
Okay.
So, I mean, the state, they may do investigation, they may indict it later, but the officer did not put in the warrant what you were convicted of. So, I didn't have that information in the warrant, so I dismissed it. So your bond on the other 2 charges is $3,000 for both of them, $1,500 a piece. Do you want to waive your preliminary hearing and expedite your case to state court?
I'm not too familiar with that.
All right, or do you want to have a hearing in magistrate court on August 18th?
I'm not familiar with the routes of that.
So which one do you want to do? Do you want to have a hearing on August 18th, or do you want to waive that hearing and have a hearing in state court?
I would have the one on the 18th. Do you think that one would be better?
I cannot give you any legal advice from the bench.
You think that one? Oh, well.
If you bond out, the one on the 18th will automatically be waived by law, and you'll get your next court date in the mail. It's only if you're still in jail.
Okay, well, I'll waive. You said if I waive, then
If you're still in jail, you'll have a court date in state court in about 10 days. If you bond out, then you just get your next court date in the mail.
okay.
All right, so they'll have a waiver form for you to sign, and then you'll be excused. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
All right. Corey Morgan.
How you doing?
And after Mr. Morgan will be Keenan Thomas.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. You're Mr. Morgan?
Yes.
All right, sir. All right, you're charged with reckless conduct. Your bond is $5,000. Driving under the influence of alcohol, your bond is $5,000. Improper lane change, your bond is $500. You have a special condition not to violate any laws while on bond, and also not to possess any firearms while on bond. Do you understand that, sir?
Yes.
All right, do you waive the formal reading of your charges?
Yes.
All right, and I'm going to appoint an attorney to represent you. Would you like to waive your preliminary hearing and expedite your case to state court?
Yes.
All right, sir, they will have a waiver form for you to sign, and then you'll be excused. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, step up, sir, to the podium.
I got it.
All right, are you Mr. Thomas?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and let me see. Give me just a moment. After Mr. Thomas will be Jabir Bashir. Mr. Thomas, you're charged with criminal trespass. Your bond is $2,000. Battery, your bond is $4,000. You have a special condition to stay away and have no contact with Olivia Bryant, and not to return to or go upon the premises located at 481 Edenton Square in Jonesboro. Also not to violate any laws while you're out on bond. If you have any personal property like clothing or other items, you can schedule an appointment with the sheriff's office to get an escort who will take you back to that property one time to retrieve your personal belongings. Do you waive the formal reading of your charges?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I am going to appoint an attorney to represent you. Do you waive your preliminary hearing or to expedite your case to state court, or do you want to have a preliminary hearing?
Yes, I'll wait.
All right, so they will have a waiver form for you to sign. You'll have a hearing in state court in about 10 days. If you bond out, then you'll receive your next court date in the mail.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you, sir. All right, are you Jabir Bashir?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
All right, after Mr. Bashir will be Devontae Cosby. Sir, you are charged with possession of a firearm during the commission of a crime. Your bond is $10,000. And you're also charged with violation of Georgia Controlled Substances Act, use or of communication facility, and commission of a felony involving controlled substances. Your bond is $5,000. You have a special condition not to violate any laws while you're on bond. Sir, do you waive the formal reading of your charges? All right, sir, I am going to appoint an attorney to represent you. Your preliminary hearing is August 26th at 8 o'clock in courtroom 201. Thank you, sir. Devontae Cosby.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. You're Mr. Cosby?
Yeah.
All right, and after Mr. Cosby will be Deron Duffy. Mr. Cosby, you're charged with possession of marijuana, 1 ounce or less. Your bond is $1,500. Violation of Georgia Controlled Substances Act. For Xanax, you have no bond because you are on 3 years probation in Cobb County Superior Court. Tinted window violation, you have a $500 bond. Sir, do you waive the formal reading of your charges?
Yes.
All right, sir, I'm going to appoint an attorney to represent you. Your preliminary hearing is August 26th at 8 o'clock in courtroom 201. Thank you, sir. Dyron Duffy.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good afternoon, sir. You, Mr. Duffy?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and after Mr. Duffy will be Jaleel Ferguson. Mr. Duffy, you're charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. You have no bond because you're on 12 months probation in Clayton County State Court, case number 2019 PR03838, burglary. You have no bond because you're on probation. 2 counts of criminal trespass, damage to property. Your bond is $2,500 each on that charge. And then death by taking, you have no bond because you are on probation. You have a special condition to stay away and have no contact with Brandy Hill, not to return to 681 Flint River Road, apartment 2C in Jonesboro, and not to violate any laws if you are released on bond. Do you waive the formal reading of your charges?
Yes.
All right, I'm going to appoint an attorney to represent you. Your preliminary hearing is August 26th at 8 o'clock in courtroom 201. Thank you, sir. All right, Jaleel Ferguson.
Yes, ma'am.
After Mr. Ferguson will be Quantavious Green. You, Mr. Ferguson?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good afternoon, sir. You are charged with improper lane change. Your bond is $500. Violation of the Georgia Controlled Substances Act for possession of marijuana. Your bond is $6,000. You have a special condition not to violate any laws while you're out on bond. Do you waive the formal reading of your charges?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, your preliminary hearing is August 26th at 8 o'clock in courtroom 201. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Who on?
Quantavious Green. After Mr. Green will be Antoine Jones. Are you Mr. Green?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Sir, you are charged with possession of a firearm by a felon. You have no bond set as you're currently on parole or 6 years probation in Fulton County Superior Court. Case number 17 SC 148843. Carrying concealed weapon, your bond is $5,000. Obstructing an officer, your bond is $2,000. You have a special condition not to violate any laws if you are released on bond. Sir, do you waive the formal reading of your charges?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Sir, I am going to appoint an attorney to represent you. Your preliminary hearing is set for August 26th at 8 o'clock in courtroom 201. Thank you, sir.
Judge, Antoine Jones, he wasn't in that group of 4 that you called? Because he was only showing one person located. I don't think he had anything with us.
I have an Antoine Jones charged with BGCSA.
Antoine Jones?
The LE number is 1656198.
He was up here, but okay, let me see if I can get him back there.
He wasn't in that group of the 4 guys that I continued. I haven't done him yet.
Okay, let me see what's going on.
Okay. Well, while you're looking for Mr. Jones, let me have Brian Reese.
Antoine Jones was up here, but he's gone now. A short guy.
All right, you Mr. Reese?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, after Mr. Reese will be Justin Simmons. Mr. Reese, you're charged with violation of the Georgia Controlled Substances Act. You have no bond set because you are currently on 3 years probation in Clayton County Superior Court. Case number 18 CR02585. Theft by receiving stolen property, no bond because you're on probation. Use or possession of drug-related objects, $1,000 bonds. Possession of marijuana, less than an ounce, $1,500 bonds. And then concealing the ID of a motor vehicle, $500 bonds. Sir, do you waive the formal reading of your charges?
Ma'am.
All right. Sir, I'm going to appoint an attorney to represent you. And let's see, your preliminary hearing is set for August 26th at 8 o'clock in courtroom 201. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right. Justin Simmons. After Mr. Simmons, I think I just need Antoine Jones, and maybe we're going to medical, but you all let me know if there's anyone else.
Back up
Are
the
you-
officers now, Judge. I
Okay,
just back up.
okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, you bringing Mr. Jones back up?
Yeah, yes, ma'am.
Okay. Mr. Simmons, you're charged with theft by receiving stolen property. Your bond is $10,000. You have a special condition not to violate any laws while you are out on bond. Sir, do you waive the formal reading of your charges?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Sir, I'm going to appoint an attorney to represent you. Your preliminary hearing is set for August 26th at 8 o'clock in courtroom 201. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, okay. You know, stay out of here.
Them little cake cups, you know, something like coffee. Have you ever made one of them? I had it, I put it on, right, and it was so I could heat the water and everything. I pressed the cup on one, nothing, and told it. I said, troubleshooting.
He's on his way, Your Honor. He's coming through the slab.
Okay.
I mean, I'm running too. See how much power you got, Judge? That man running up here. Come on right here, man. That's straight, y'all. I know you're tired.
Are you Antoine Jones?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Give me just a moment.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, sir. You are charged with violation of the felony violation of Georgia Controlled Substances Act. After reviewing the warrant, I did not find probable cause for the charges, so I'm going to dismiss them. So you will be released once the sheriff's office processes your paperwork. All right?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
Yes,
Have a
ma'am.
good day.
All right, Judge, I'm about to disconnect you and bring you on down to the medical.
Okay,
It won't take long at all, Judge.
okay, I'm here.
Okay. We back, Judge. This is Miss
We need the video.
Judge, this is gonna be Miss Jordan, Francis Jordan.
Okay, Francis Jordan.
Yes, ma'am, and after that, we're gonna go down to Mr. Nelson.
Okay,
All right.
Can you see it? Can you see it?
Can you see it, Judge?
I can. Good afternoon, Miss Jordan. I'm Judge Fox. This is your first appearance. You're charged with terroristic threats or acts. Your bond is $5,000. Criminal trespass, your bond is $2,000 for a total of $7,000. Special condition, not to return to or go upon the premises located at 6708 Charles Drive in Morrow, to not violate any laws while on bond, and to have no violent or harassing contact with Orlean Moore. The affidavit indicates on July 9th, 2020 at 6708 Charles Drive, defendant did commit the following violations of Georgia law: terroristic threats and criminal trespass by intentionally damaging the property of Orlean Moore without consent when the offender kicked over the victim's mailbox caught on surveillance that cost $140. The offender threatened to commit a crime of violence when she shouted to the victim that she would kill her in police presence. This did occur in Clayton County. Ma'am, I'm going to appoint an attorney to represent you, and your preliminary hearing is set for August 26th at 8 o'clock in courtroom 201. All right, thank you, ma'am. And then for Mr. Nelson, he's next.
Yes.
All right.
So this is my thing, the limit. Will this thing stay on if I unplug it?
We'll find out.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, no, it'll come back.
There you go. Come on, Judge. We got it.
5 seconds.
Here we are.
So we gotta keep that cord from coming out. Hold your hand on that cord. All right, can you see him, Judge? This is Mr.
I can see him.
Okay, Mr. Nelson? Take it
All
back.
right, Mr. Nelson, I'm Judge Fox. This is your first appearance. You're charged with unlawful removal of baggage or cargo from a terminal. Your bond is $5,000. You're also charged with crossing the guard line with drugs. I did not find probable cause for that charge, so I dismissed that charge. You have a special condition not to violate any laws while you're out on bond. The affidavit indicates on July 9th at approximately 6:10, Craig Nelson did commit the following violations of Georgia law: removal of baggage from terminal. Said offender did while Officer Jenkins was working an extra job at the airport. I was approached by a Miss Kelly Langford who stated that her luggage had been stolen from Carousel 7 earlier this evening. She described the suitcase as a large dark gray bag with her name tag on it, and inside would be clothing and shoes along with cookware. I was able to give Miss Langford a case number and information on how to get the report. No more than 5 minutes later, Miss Langford came back around the corner and yelled, "That man has my suitcase." I saw what was a tall 6'3" dark-skinned male with a black shirt and gray shorts come from the west curb.
Nothing she's saying. I can't hear nothing she's saying. I can't hear nothing she's saying. Can you make this a little bit more I can?
All right. And he'll get a copy of the bond order. It says he took an immediate left and was walking towards the martyr to go back on the train. I asked him to stop and escorted him back to the victim. He stated he accidentally picked up the bag and didn't know it. I asked the suspect, was he flying? He stated, no, I am not flying. As I searched, Mr. Nelson stated he didn't want to go to prison and then gave me his real name, which was Craig Nelson, date of birth, March 7th, 57. I then told Mr. Nelson that he was charged with unlawful removal of baggage and he was transported to the Clayton County Jail. Mr. Nelson, I'm going to appoint an attorney for you, and your preliminary hearing is August 26th. Thank you, sir. I have Alvarez Hill and Melvin Witten.
Okay, we got
left.
They're going to the other side to get them.
Okay.
Wall.
What was the point of all that?
You got charged with removing a baggage at the airport, sir.
His bond was $5,000.
You don't know how to go doing, sir.
What is that blue cord? Is that the cord to the laptop?
Yeah, Judge, I'm gonna kill that video just in case for a minute. I'm gonna put it back on in a second.
Okay, that's fine.
Say Avery Seal first, right? Okay.
Averitt Hill and then Melvin Witten.
Yes, ma'am. How much we got left?
I think that's it, just those two.
Can he come out? Okay, he'll come out. Okay.
Okay.
I'm about to put the video back on in a minute, Judge.
Okay, that's fine.
Avery Seal. Yeah. Come on. Come right here. I'm gonna stand for the screen. Put your hands on the back, okay? Put your hands on the back. All right, that's Mr. Hill right there, Judge.
All right, Mr. Hill, how are you doing?
I'm doing terrible.
All right. Sir, my name is Judge Fox. I'm here for your first appearance hearing to let you know what you're charged with. You're charged with criminal trespass. Your bond is $1,500. You have a special condition not to return to the premises located at the Checkers at 6339 Terra Boulevard, not to violate any laws while you're out on bond. The affidavit indicates on July 10th, 2020 in Clayton County, Georgia, at 6339 Terra Boulevard, Jonesboro, said offender did commit the offense of criminal trespass by remaining on the property of Checkers, 6339 Terra Boulevard, after being told by deputies to leave the business property because Mr. Hill was not purchasing any food. And from the location, Mr. Hill refused to leave and was charged with criminal trespass. This occurred in Clayton County. Sir, I do not want to hear the facts of the case. I'm not having a hearing on that. I'm going to appoint an attorney to represent you so you can discuss the facts of the case or any questions you have with that attorney. So your preliminary hearing would be on August 18th at 8:30 in room 203, or you can, and that would be in magistrate court. If you want to waive that preliminary hearing, you can expedite your case to state court and you'll have a hearing there in about 10 days. So do you want the hearing in magistrate court on August 18th, or do you want to waive that hearing to expedite your case to state court?
Said August 18th or waive it?
Yes, sir. Or waive.
If I waive the hearing, I would have an earlier court date?
Yes, sir.
Well, I would waive it.
All right, so they'll have a waiver form for you to sign, and then you'll be notified of your later court date in state court. Now, if you bond out with the $1,500 bond before you get that court date in state court, you'll be given your next court date. You'll be mailed your next court date in the mail.
All right.
All right, thank you, sir. All right, the last person I have is Melvin Witten.
That's Melvin Witten right there.
All right, Melvin Witten. All right, good afternoon. I'm Judge Fox. I'm here for your first appearance hearing. Mr. Witten, you are charged with forged or counterfeit trademarks Your bond is $10,000. You have a special condition not to violate any laws while out on bond. The affidavit indicates on July 10th, 2020, in Clayton County, Georgia, at 5226 Highway 85, Unit 4 in Atlanta, at approximately 15:10 p.m. Said offender did own and operate Estelle Fashion and Wigs at 5226 Highway 85. A search warrant was executed at the business, resulting in approximately $500,000 worth of counterfeit trademark items being seized, bearing the brands Versace, Louis Vuitton, Gucci, Chanel, Fendi, Burberry, Christian Dior, Rolex, and others. These items were confirmed counterfeit and forged by experts. This occurred in Clayton County. I'm going to appoint an attorney to represent you, and your preliminary hearing is set for August 26th at 8 o'clock in courtroom 201. All right, thank you.
I gotta get you to sign something, okay? Bond, what's the bond amount again, Judge?
$10,000, 10,000.
10,000. I'll talk to you about that. All right, Judge, we good.
All right.
All right, have a good day, Judge. Nice day, Judge.
Thank you. You all have a good day.
All right.
All right. Bye. That concludes first appearance for July 11th.